So here's a quick example of simplifying using exponents. And here I'm going to use some of those properties of exponents that we talked about previously to do this. What I want to do is rewrite this ugly expression using as few terms as possible and only positive exponents. So let's just start with x and see where we go. On the top, you see I've got x to the negative 7th. On the bottom, I've got x squared. Well, x to the negative 7th on top, remember what that is 1 over x to the 7th. So I can rewrite this as 1 over x to the 7th with x squared in the bottom. And all the rest is going to be the same, right? We've got y to the 8th times z to the 1th to the 4th power times y to the negative 5th times z to the negative 8. Now, x to the 7th times x squared, remember the property, the product rule of exponents, that's going to be equal to x to the 9th. So on the bottom of this exponent, I will have x to the 9th. Now moving on to the y's. Well, I want to deal with this y to the 8th right here, but if you look, it's kind of trapped inside this this parentheses with an exponent on the outside. So let's just go ahead and simplify that. Y to the 8th to the 4th power, that's going to be y to the 32nd power. And z to the 1th to the 4th power is just z to the 4th power. And then on the bottom, we still have y to the negative 5th and z to the negative 8th. Well, if you just remember what y to the negative 5th is, that means, let's bring this over here. Y to the negative 5th, that's just 1 over y to the 5th. And z to the negative 8th, that's just 1 over z to the 8th. So if these are in the denominator, what this is really telling me is that I have a fraction like this. And I'm going to deal with the y's all by themselves for a moment. I've got y to the 32nd power on top divided by 1 over y to the negative 5th. And when you divide something by a fraction, remember keep, flip, change, that's equivalent to multiplying it by the inverse. So this becomes y to the 32nd times y to the 5th. And likewise, I've got z to the 4th and divided by z to the negative 8th. Well, that divided by z to the negative 8th is equivalent to multiplying by z to the 8th. So at the end of the day, we're going to have a fraction that looks like this. We have y on top, and that's 32 powers of y times 5 powers of y, which makes 37 powers of y. And in terms of z, I've got 4 powers of z plus 8 powers of z. So that's going to be 12 powers of z. And then on the bottom, all that's left is that x to the 9th. So this is my simplified fraction.